14 years ago, I was a caregiver for my grandfather who suffered from multiple chronic conditions, and during that time, I was caregiving for a 2-year-old, a 2-week-old, and an 11-month-old puppy. It sounds cliche, but it's true that those were some of the most meaningful and difficult days of my life, when days blurred into nights and then back into days again. Late one evening, I found myself washing the feet of my grandfather and finally getting the baby down to sleep. Grandpa looked down at me and I looked up at him and he said, "This is too much for you." And in all of the rawness of that moment, I replied in a guilty whisper, "Yes, Grandpa, it is." He placed his hand on my shoulder and we never spoke of that moment again. I understood more than ever the demands that caregivers face. Caregivers sacrifice their own physical, mental, financial, and emotional well-being to support their care partners. Unpaid caregiving has formed the invisible backbone of our health and social systems across the United States. I have been working in healthcare for the last 24 years, and what drove me to this line of work was the care component of the healthcare system. The breaking down of silos, the invaluable role of the informal care partners, all of that has fueled me to carry the flag for carers over the past 10 years through my work with Guiding Lights. Have you personally cared for someone with a chronic or life-limiting illness, disability, or injury? If you haven't, I'm sure you know someone who has. The role of the caregiver is precious. Without informal caregivers, our health and social systems would absolutely crumble. The impact and magnitude of the work that caregivers put in largely goes unrecognized. Back in 2010, when I co-founded Guiding Lights Caregiver Support Center, we were in the middle of the Great Recession. Naivete and perhaps brazen enthusiasm and the support of our board members, our community partners, our tremendous and loyal staff and volunteers kept me personally fueled even during our most dark days. I made a commitment to myself and the broader community that if we could not make it work by giving 100% of ourselves or more to the cause, then it just wasn't meant to be, not at least at that time. Fast forward to 2020, and our country is faced with another crisis, the coronavirus pandemic. Guiding Lights has weathered many storms and has a tremendous support from our partners in the community. Now, Transitions Life Care has stepped up and Guiding Lights will fully integrate into their organization in the coming months. One of our mantras at Guiding Lights is to never tell a caregiver no and to always find a workable solution. And in that same vein, we have been nimble and have pivoted and found the path forward for Guiding Lights. I am personally ending this chapter of my career, and I am excited that the work of Guiding Lights will continue under the umbrella of Transitions Life Care. There will be more to come from me in the future about my path in the coming weeks.